So
Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on the show.
of course, man, like happy to be here. This is my first actually interview of this year, and also my first interviewer from overseas. In fact, I've always done interviews just locally, but you are the
Oh,
first person from overseas to interview me. Yeah.
oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I like
Yeah.
that.
Awesome,
Nice.
awesome.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
feel happy now. I'm the first guy from USA to interview you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is. So before we
Yeah.
went live with the recording, you were telling me the wrestling league that you wrestled for this last night was like your first show of 2023.
Yeah. I mean for us in Singapore, but I did have a show in Vietnam.
Oh,
That
okay.
was early this month. So that's I think about like on 7th Jan. Yeah. And that was my first time going to Vietnam as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is though, like the show that we had yesterday, the crowd was all right. It's just that it's during the Chinese New Year holiday period. So there were some people, or in fact, like a lot of people that couldn't come because of that. Um,
Okay.
but overall, I think like it was pretty enjoyable show.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
You said that was your first time in Vietnam too. How was that like?
yeah. So like the crowd in Singapore and Vietnam is about the same because we have people from, I mean, of course, the locals that join to watch, and also we have international people, so from like
Yeah.
from Europe, from America, from Canada. So it's about roughly the same. Like most of them uh have not watched wrestling before, and maybe like their
Oh,
friends are like, hey, like you want to go watch wrestling, there's a local show in either Vietnam or Singapore. So um most of the time they go in blind, but it's nice to hear when like after the show they come up to you and say like um I've not watched wrestling before, but I love it because of you guys, and I want to watch more, so I mean, of course, you do have those hardcore fans that has been
oh
watching
yeah.
wrestling and has been supporting for a very long time, but yeah, like I would say that Vietnam's crowd and Singapore's crowd is pretty similar.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Because I I know like wrestling's big in J, 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 Japan. Like
yeah, yeah,
like wrestling's huge there, and you got like a lot of American stars that go there, like
yeah,
Kenny Omega, and Sting was just
yeah,
there for Muda's final match, and
yeah,
it's big there.
yeah. It is. I mean, of course, like um a lot of the Singapore fans, they do watch a lot of like, I mean, of course, WWE, AEW, that's the
Well, yeah,
standard,
of
but
course.
we also watch Japanese wrestling. Um, oh yeah, speaking of Kenny Omega, like in 2019, he did wrestle for our company. So just to let you
Yeah,
know that our
really.
company is called Singapore Pro Wrestling, or SPW. Yeah, and because he came over, I think he was in Japan the night before,
Oh,
and I don't know I don't know what the deal was, but he was able to make a trip to Singapore. So we were lucky to have him on the show, man. Like, uh, and I also had the honor to wrestle him because it was a 6-man tag team match. So him, are you familiar with Sima?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And at that time, 2019, there was this up and coming promotion called OWE. It was a promotion
Okay.
in China. Yeah,
Oh,
and they
okay.
had this guy called Shaolin Monk. Yeah, he was one of the wrestlers. Yeah, so like it was the three of them. Then like myself, then my boss, the statement Andrew Tang,
Yeah.
and um, Traxxas. So Traxxas right now he's in WWE, known as Dante Chen. So he's in NXT right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
So we had this 6-man tag team match, and it was pretty surreal because like in 2009, that's when I was watching like Kenny Omega,
Yeah.
and 10 years later I'm in the ring with him. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, that
Yeah.
that must be so cool. Like Kenny's
Yeah.
one of the best. Like the guy
And
knows his stuff. I mean, he's definitely one of the all-time greats.
yeah, definitely, man. Like I didn't know that I was gonna get chosen to, be part of this match.
Yeah,
But when I
exactly.
found out, like I went numb, like because I was like, what the heck, like from wrestling like locals most of the time, and suddenly boom, like Kenny Omega, like whoa. But
I know.
it was a pretty important moment in my career because like it's either I sink or I swim. Like no other
No,
way to put it.
true. You're right. You're right about that. Yeah. So I was like reading up
Yeah.
before you got involved with wrestling. I think you still do it. Like you teach first 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 aid,
Yeah.
and you were a medic too.
Yeah. So like that's my full-time job. I mean, of course, like right now, in Singapore, we can't have like wrestling as a full-time job. Uh, I mean, like we've been around for like 10 years, like, but we are still heading towards it being a full-time job. But of course, all of us have like other jobs aside from wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so like in Singapore, the system here is that we need to serve national service. So we need to either serve the army, you serve the police force, or you serve the civil defense force. So like firefighters or paramedics. And every guy has to complete like 2 years of this. So during my national service, I was a medic. And after I finished, I thought like, okay, since I have experience in like medical field, like why not I just impart this knowledge on other people. So I found a first aid training company, and I have been teaching ever since like 2016. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and like everyone knows your wrestling gimmick, and like who's the man behind it?
So you meaning the inspiration behind the
Yeah,
Butcherman,
yeah,
or like yeah. Okay, so like I don't know whether this sounds weird, but I feel that like the inspirations only came after I came up with like the very basic concept of the Butcherman. Um, so like when my boss told me like, hey, like we're going to debut you soon. I just need you to come up with a name, come up with a gimmick. So like I was like, okay, it just happened like I think in a matter of like 30 seconds. This whole thought process. It was like, okay, if I was put in a wrestling ring and I was to really like, fight for real,
yeah.
like what would be my energy towards, a match, like I wouldn't want to like kick someone's ass because that's just very generic. I wouldn't, like try to do like technical like wrestling and stuff. I just wanna like I just want to charge into my opponent and slaughter my opponent. And when I thought of the word slaughter, then like the mind map just like went like everywhere. Okay, slaughter, knife, butcher. Okay, maybe I'll just go with like the butcher. Even though there's like millions of like butchers in pro
Yeah.
wrestling, but like there was no butcher in Singapore. So I thought, you know what, like just to get like my feet wet, so to speak, right? Like I'll just go with the butcher. Um so when I wrestled like my first 3 matches, I was like super bland. I mean, of course, I was already like super green.
Well, yeah,
And then like, yeah, like super green and then like super bland. So like I didn't know what the butcher was. It was just a guy with a bloody shirt, with a mohawk, carrying a knife around. But that's about it. Um, I think after my third match, I started thinking to myself like, okay, like I really need to uh, either get inspiration from outside of wrestling
okay.
or just try to do a bit of like method acting. So, um, in terms of inspirations outside of wrestling, I was just looking at people like okay, not people, more of like figures like Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. Yeah, because like um I I envision my character to be a babyface.
Yeah.
Like I've always liked the very like rugged babyface. Um and also like a character like a butcher is more um stereotypically heel. So I just wanted to kind of change it up. So yeah, I just try to make it face. So yeah, Cookie Monster, because like Cookie Monster is just an eating machine,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's very lovable. You know, you won't go like, oh, I hate the Cookie Monster. You know, then there was like that Tasmanian Devil from Looney Tunes.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so like only recently I started to adopt like more Tasmanian Devil like mannerisms. Because I think for the majority of my career, I always cut like, you know, like promos while talking
Oh, yeah.
normally. But I was thinking like I envisioned this character to be more monstrous than human. So I
Okay.
started to like talk gibberish, you know, like for example, I'll just like start a promo like let's get back to class. You know, just something like just to be different as well, because like um I wouldn't say like everybody knows how to cut a promo, but like I think
Mhm.
there are a few people that can um kind of like hone their character in Singapore
Yeah.
for now. Yeah. Yeah. So like I would say that over the years, through trial and error, like I think right now I'm starting to hit my groove, because like
Okay.
I think about like last year I experimented a bit on the Butchman, see like
Yeah.
where I can take the character, right? So I was trying to go for like this like death growl, like the death metal growl type of thing. But it didn't work. Like and also I tried to put face paint, and like looking back, like I never want to see those videos that I made again. Because like it just didn't fit like what I envisioned it to be. But I think now I take a lot of inspiration from like, you know, like demonic possession. So as if like this
Yeah.
Butcherman character is a demon that has possessed this poor wrestling trainee.
Oh my God, I love it. Because like it definitely, that's what drew me to liking your gimmick, because
Awesome.
I'm a big I'm a big horror guy. I
Oh
love
yeah.
horror movies. And even in wrestling, I gravitate towards the darker characters like the
Yeah.
Undertaker and
Oh,
Kane and the Boogeyman and
oh
guys
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Like so like speaking of horror films, right? Like I'm not a big fan of like those like supernatural horrors. Like
Oh,
I'm too I'm too squeamish for that. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep if I were to watch those type of horrors. But like if it's those like slashers, like Nightmare on Elm Street,
yeah.
Friday the 13th, that's all good. Like I can watch that like all day long. Um yeah, so like in terms of horror movies, like what do you watch?
Oh man, I me I think I like slasher horror movies the best. Like you were
Yeah,
saying, like Halloween and Elm
yeah,
Street, and
yeah,
Chucky, and
yeah,
Jason, and you know, like those kind, like good slasher horror movies.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Halloween was actually, I think, yeah, Halloween was like the first to start it. Like
Yeah.
Michael Myers was
Yeah.
the first slasher, and then Jason came, and then Freddy came.
Yeah. Like I don't know whether you feel the same way, but like of course, maybe when you first watch like maybe the first movie from a particular franchise, you'll be like, oh, okay, like we want the victim to win. But then as the sequels go on and on, you're like, no, I want like Michael Myers to just like chop the guy's head off, you know?
Yes,
Stuff
exactly,
like that.
exactly. That's how I feel when I watch him. I'm like, oh, come on, just let Michael win. Like, just let him kill everyone in the movie, and then just walk out of the house, wipe the blood off his knife, and then go into hiding for like the whole year. That
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Michael
yeah, yeah.
Myers only kills on Halloween night. Like the rest of the time,
Right.
he like hides
Yeah.
out, and no one
Yeah.
knows where he's at or where he's hiding.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Like the recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Like, I mean, I don't think a lot of people liked it. Like, but I found it quite okay. Especially
Yeah,
the ending. Like you thought like, oh, like Leatherface is gone for good, and
yeah,
then
right.
suddenly yeah, then he's like swinging the chainsaw around. I was like, yeah, like, that's the way to go, man.
Yeah, that's a really good horror movie. I think I was reading an interview, and Bray Wyatt was saying that like he took a lot of inspiration from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah,
Leatherface, and
yeah,
when Bray Wyatt was doing his other gimmick where you know the Wyatt family, when he was doing that gimmick, he
yeah,
said he took like a lot of stuff from Leatherface.
yeah. So like one of the later inspirations I got was I was watching American Psycho
Yeah.
with Christian Bale, right? Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
um
that was a great movie.
yeah, it was amazing, man. Yeah. So like the thing is though, like I wasn't inspired by like Patrick Bateman himself,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether you remember there was this one scene where like he was like working out. I think he was doing crunches or something. Then
Yes.
in the background, you see like Leatherface just like the ending scene, like he's just like waving his
Yeah.
chainsaw. Then I was like, oh my god, like that's like really good for my Butcherman character. So like I'll take the cleaver, my knife, and I'll just like swing it around like Leatherface. So like these like small things like would be
Nice.
placed into my character
Yeah.
so that I allow it to evolve like organically rather than like force it. Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
definitely like I said, like that those your character, like those characters are the characters that I love most when I'm watching wrestling. And
Awesome,
and
awesome.
and anyone who has like a dark gimmick, I love. And your gimmick's great. Like you say, you have the blood soaked shirt and
Yeah.
the cleaver that you carry around, and yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And you were the Singapore Pro. You held the Singapore Pro Wrestling Championship for
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
That
Well,
is amazing.
I mean like 3 years because like COVID, like during that lockdown period, like really like lengthened my reign. So like the thing is though, I mean, if you were to take away that lockdown period, I still would have been the longest reigning Singapore champion. But yeah, it was really cool because for the majority of my career before I became a Singapore champion, I was part of a tag team. In fact, my tag team's name is the Horrors. I don't know whether you can see this shirt here. Yeah,
Oh,
this is
that's
me and my tag team
nice.
partner. Yeah, this is Dr. Gore, and this is me, the Butcherman. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, for the majority of my career at that time, I was in a tag team. And unfortunately, my partner, he got injured. He tore his ACL. So
Ooh.
I had to go into the singles division. And yeah, like I was honored that they, they put the title on me. Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, probably because you had a character that no one else has there, because I was looking at some of the wrestlers that are part of Singapore Pro Wrestling, and no one looks like they have like a really dark gimmick the way
Oh yeah, yeah.
you have. And they probably wanted like something like that, like someone like real dark to be the champion, to like scare the crowd and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe that's the case. But like, the thing is, I don't know whether it will be received the same way overseas. But in Singapore, they love these like dark characters.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
the best.
I've never been a heel in Singapore.
Really?
I was, yeah, never. The only time I've ever been a heel in my career is in Vietnam. So like
Really?
earlier this year, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess like the the white meat baby face, like it's not as I wouldn't say it's like not accepted, but like
Yeah.
maybe not viewed as cool as like darker or edgier characters. And I don't know, like maybe like people are just like really sick in the mind and they like these characters.
So when you were getting involved, like when you first start liking wrestling, who were some of the wrestlers that you loved watching?
Yeah, so like my first memory of like watching wrestling was when my cousins, they were big wrestling fans. They're not wrestling fans now, but like back then during the Attitude Era, like almost everybody was a wrestling fan. So like my cousins were like, "Hey, like, don't sleep yet. You know, we gotta watch TV. Kane is going to choke slam Undertaker through the ring." This was in like 2001, I think, or 2000 if not mistaken. This was the build up to like SummerSlam 2000, if not mistaken. Yeah, so
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
okay, who is this Kane and Undertaker guys? Like, I don't know, like, okay, let's give it a shot. So like, I saw the thing, I thought, wow, like this Kane guy is the strongest man in the world, man. Like, he chokes him the guy through the ring. So like, I think Kane was probably my first favorite ever, just
Okay.
because of his look, right? Like his long hair, his mask. Then of course, my cousins introduced me to like the wrestling games. That's where I got a bit more familiar with the wrestling names. But then like uh there was a period of time until I was maybe about like 10 or 11
Yeah.
where I fell out of wrestling. Like I just like wasn't as interested. I was more interested in like comic books at the time
Oh,
and stuff like
okay.
that. So
Yeah.
um so what got me back into wrestling was this one specific program, which was with Undertaker and Kurt Angle in 2006. This was the build up to No Way Out 2006. Um, yeah, so like in 2000, Undertaker was the American badass guy, right? So
um,
when I watched him in 2006, he went back into the dead man gimmick, and I was like, wow, like this guy, he's like supernatural, he's like choke slamming and tombstoning people. I was like, holy shit, like yeah, okay, like yeah, this Undertaker guy is really cool. So yeah, Kane and Undertaker, I would say is like my first two favorites.
okay.
Then
Okay.
I mean, of course, I think I grew up more in the internet wrestling era. So I would I would watch like indie promotions, then like promotions from Japan. And I think the main guys that I always watched was like Great Muta,
Ah,
Jushin Liger,
yes.
Kento Kobashi. Then like from there, I would like take a look back in history, like who are the other like WWF wrestlers, so like Macho Man, Jake the Snake. Which like when I saw like your interview with like Jake the Snake, I was like, holy shit, like I was like mind blown, man. So it's damn cool, man. So yeah, like guys like this, like I would just like really enjoy watching them. And then I think when I was about 13 years old, I just decided, you know what, like I want to be a wrestler. I just don't see myself doing anything else other than wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Muda. Muda was someone like that. That was the first time I ever saw, like, because I was used to watching the American wrestling,
Yeah.
the WCW, the WWF,
Yeah.
and I was growing up with like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and Ric Flair,
Yeah.
Sting,
Yeah.
and then when Muda first appeared on WCW, I was completely like mind blown. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's amazing!" Blowing the
Yes.
mist out of his
Yeah.
mouth, and
Yeah.
then that's what made me start watching more wrestlers there, and that's when I start seeing like Yushin Thunder Liger, the
Yeah.
great the the great Kabuki.
Kabuki. Yeah. Kabuki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the great Kabuki, the great Muda, Yushin Thunder Liger, and Antonio Inoki,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I start watching like all these guys just because of seeing the great Muda appear on American television.
Yeah, man. Like he was like revolutionary,
Oh my
like
god,
nobody's
yeah.
business, man. Like, yeah. Like in fact, like whenever I wrestle, like secretly I'll just ask myself, like, what would the great Muta do in this situation? So, like, I mean, of course, like I don't like totally rip off the great Muta, but like
Yeah.
in fact, like last night's match. So what happened was that we were doing this sequence where we were like brawling outside,
Mhm.
and because it's a tag team match, right? So like me and my opponent, we finished our brawl quite fast, and then like our teammates were brawling on the other side. So their brawl like really like prolonged, like it was quite long, and we already finished our spot, so like we were just like selling, and then I was like, okay, like it's gonna be a bit stupid if I just stay here, right? So I just thought to myself, like, what would the Great Muta do? And you know how like Great Muta would like he will look underneath the ring for like weapons, even though he won't
Oh
use
yeah.
them in the end. I just kept doing that. Just I kept looking underneath the ring. Yeah, yeah. So like um whenever there are some situations where like I'm not sure of what to do, I'll just be like, okay, like, what would the Great Muta do?
Yeah, that's what got me with Muda was like he was different from all the American wrestlers. Like no one was blowing mist out of their mouth, and he had the face paint. And when he came out to the ring, he wore that like mask over his head with the
Yeah, yeah,
outfit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did you watch Muda's final match where he teamed up with Sting?
No, I didn't catch it there because like I think I was like preparing for like my upcoming match.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I definitely
yeah.
want to watch it. I did watch the one with Nakamura though. That was like
That was really good.
beautiful. Like,
That was really
that
good.
was
I
really,
saw
really
that.
good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do want to watch that six-man tag. And of course I'm looking forward to his like last match as
Oh
KG
yeah,
Muto also.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Without Muda, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But like seeing Muda and Sting team up after years of feuding with each other, like
Yeah, yeah.
that was so amazing.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm glad Muda picked Sting for
Yes.
like final bout because like him and Sting have so much like they wrestled together, they wrestled against each other.
Yeah.
I mean, this feud has lasted what 20, 30 years. And so it makes sense for Muda to end with Sting.
Yeah, the chemistry was amazing, man. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I didn't get the opportunity to watch like while they were feuding, but of course,
Yeah.
because of the WWE network, you can watch all these things, right? Yeah, like man, like Sting, like pure baby face. Then Great Muta was like a heel, but because he was so cool, like you heard a lot of cheers as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know. Now, who are some wrestlers that would be like your dream match? Someone you would love to wrestle? I'm sure Muda is one of them.
Yeah, man, that would have been amazing. But I mean, of course, like he's gonna retire soon, so like
Yeah, exactly.
that's a very big missed opportunity. But I would say maybe for now would be Tajiri.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
because like he came over to Singapore in 2019 for the first time, and then when we celebrated our 10-year anniversary in November last year, he
Mhm.
came as well. So like I don't know, like watching him at that age, like still move like so smoothly and like
Oh, I know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked he
man,
moves
I'm
that
like
well. Yeah.
yeah, and like I think I like kind of subconsciously like stole some of his like mannerisms, like not like totally ripped off, but I was like, okay, like he doesn't have to like rush when he moves, like he
Yeah.
takes his time.
Yeah.
Then when
Exactly.
it's like the exact time to just like hit like a fast kick, then he will do it. It's like, oh, like then I started experimenting, like because like I've always like been very frantic with my energy
Hmm.
as a butcherman, but then I thought like, okay, what if I just pause here, just look at the crowd, and then like because I saw Tajiri do it like live, and I was like, okay, let's just try what he just did, and it
Yeah.
works wonders though. Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow. I
uh,
love that move he does. I forgot the name of it when you're against the rope and he climbs over you and ties you up into the
oh
rope
yeah,
and stuff.
tarantula.
Yes, that's it. That's it. I love that move. That move
Yeah,
is so
man.
awesome.
Yeah, amazing, man.
and, and who did when you first got involved with wrestling? Like who was what wrestling school did you go to? Who was the one that trained you?
Yeah, so like my the founder, or also sorry, the co-founder of Singapore Pro Wrestling is the Statement Andrew Tang.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so he founded the school in 2012. So it's the first like wrestling school slash promotion in Singapore.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, I didn't join in 2012 because I was living overseas at that time.
Oh,
So
okay.
the thing is though, like I knew that I was going to move back to Singapore, in the near future at that time. So I remember I had like this like big dream, like okay, I'm going to be the first pro wrestler to come out from Singapore. But then I wanted to go online and check, okay, has anybody like taken that claim yet? So like I typed first ever wrestler from Singapore, and the first result that popped up was Andrew Tang and Singapore Pro Wrestling School. I was like,
Okay.
what? Okay, I mean like, um, I was a bit sad because like, my dream of being the first ever like Singapore wrestler, um,
Yeah, yeah.
those dreams were done. But then again, like then again, though, that there's a school in Singapore, so I do have a chance to live out my dream.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when I came to Singapore in 2014, that's when I started to train. And to be honest, like I I couldn't take the training. Like it was quite tough. Like uh I mean, of course, yeah, like you learn how to bump, you learn how to
Yeah.
roll, you learn all the basics, right? But um to do it like not say correctly, but like to make it not look too robotic, to make
Yeah,
it look
yeah.
more natural.
I
That's
know
where I
exactly
had a
what
bit
you
of
mean.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of trouble with that. So I just said, you know what, like maybe wrestling's not for me. So um, I'll just carry on with life. And I don't know. The thing is though, like the wrestling bug, it's real. So the
Yeah, it
moment you,
hurts.
yeah, like the thing is though, like wrestling still put me back in
Yeah.
some way or another. Like because I still watch wrestling, and then I'm like, oh man, like, I wish I could do that, but I don't think I can take it until the thing that actually got me back into like wrestling training was when I tried to ask a girl out and I got rejected.
Oh.
And then I was just like, man, like life's not doing so well for me right now. Wait a minute, no. Like, I have a dream to be a wrestler. Like, why am I sulking right here, right now, when I can be, when I can be chasing my wrestling dream? So that's what I did. I just said, you know what, like, even if I suck at it for like years and years, I'm just gonna make it work until like I make my debut. And the funny thing is, like, I came back and everything went quite well, like in terms of like picking up like what I learned before.
Yeah.
And it became more natural in terms of movements, to the
Okay.
point where I was able to make my debut 3 months after I came back. So like in 2014 I started, right? Then I had a break in 2015.
Yeah.
So I trained back in 2016, 3 months after I made my debut. Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like wrestling training's hard because I used to do it. Like I was involved. I wrestled for a little while, in
Yeah.
Philadelphia where I live at and stuff. And my gimmick was actually dark too. I have to
Hmm.
send you some like photos. Like my gimmick was dark too, and but the wrestling training, that was brutal. Like there were so many
Yeah.
times where I was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And like I'll be riding on the bus heading over to wrestling school, and I'll be like, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. But then I would go because like the wrestling school I went to was he passed away now, but I was
Mm.
trained by Pretty Boy Larry Sharp. He used to wrestle for the
Oh yeah.
WWF,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one of the students in my class that I would be training with was actually Damian Priest from WWE.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that's damn cool, man. That's damn cool.
So
So Larry
when I
Sharp, oh,
saw
that's damn
him,
cool.
yeah, when I saw Damian Priest appear on WWE, I was like, oh my God, he's living the dream now. Like
Yeah,
I
man.
trained with this guy when he was green, and he would actually like you knew the guy had a passion for it because he would drive to the wrestling school. He lived in New York, and he would drive to Jersey to the wrestling school. It would be like a 3 to 4 hour drive up and a 3 to 4 hour drive back, and then he would have
Yeah.
to get like a couple hours sleep and go do his normal job.
Yeah.
And he would do that like every day, like travel, drive 4 hours up, 4 hours back, go to work, come back, go to work, come back. Like
Oh
Damien
shit, man.
really put in the work. Like I was so happy for him.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Like, like, yeah, like as you were saying, like passion for wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to talk bad about the Singapore wrestling industry, but um sometimes, like, like, let's say, like, hey, come for wrestling training,
Yeah.
and then someone will give an excuse. Nah, I got work, I'm tired. They give all these sorts of excuses. So like, of course you have like a lot of individuals who are like, you know what, like, even if I'm tired, even if like I've had a bad day, I'm just gonna go wrestling training. I'm gonna put my reps in.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah. So like,
course.
uh, I think if in Singapore, like everybody has that same passion, as like a Damian Priest, or as like someone who's like really passionate for wrestling, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we will be able to move forward much bigger in Singapore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And how did it feel that when they were going to tell you that you were going to become the Singapore champion? Like how did it feel when you actually had the title in your hands when you won the belt?
Oh man, it felt amazing because like when the championship was first announced and first created, like that was
Yeah.
the championship I wanted to go for. The thing is, in our promotion, there's a title that's Is the word prestigious? I don't know. So like there's the Southeast Asia Championship, which is like the equivalent of our WWE Championship, for example.
Yeah.
Then you have the Singapore Championship, which is uh, kind of like the Intercontinental or United States Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is though, like I always want to go for the Singapore Championship because I believe in the local talents in Singapore.
Exactly.
So I wanted to just like wrestle all the locals. Just like I mean, of course, I would say I'm still green, even though I've been in wrestling for almost 7 years.
Oh wow,
But
okay, that's wow.
7 years though, but like it's not as if I'm wrestling like hundreds of matches per year. Maybe it's like I think my debut year I only wrestled like 5 times. Like
Oh really?
so I would say I'm still like super green. Yeah, like I wouldn't, like the thing is like with a lot of podcasts in Singapore, they'll say like I'm a veteran, but I really like cannot say I'm a veteran because like I really do not have that experience yet. But anyways, like when I made my debut and I heard that the Singapore Championship was announced, it was going to be created, like that's the one I wanted to go for. So when I held it in my hands, I was like, holy shit, like I never knew this day would come, but I knew this day would come. Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was cool also because like I had a lot of my close friends watching. My wife was watching as well. So yeah, it was a pretty special moment. Yeah.
Oh wow, nice,
Yeah.
nice. And what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like what's on your playlist?
Okay, I would say like like it's quite mixed. Like I don't have a specific genre,
Yeah.
but a lot of the songs I listen to is like a lot of like mainstream pre 2010.
Okay, okay.
Okay, let's just like see my playlist. Okay, I listen to heavy metal,
Oh nice,
a
nice. Yeah, that's what
bit
I
of
like.
death metal. Heavy metal are awesome. I mean like my dad was the one that introduced me a lot to like heavy metal, hip
Really?
hop, rap. Yeah, so he introduced me to like Metallica, Iron
Yeah,
Maiden.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the main four except for Anthrax. Anthrax, I'm not
Yes,
as
yes.
big of a fan. Yeah. Um then Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin is like one of my favorite bands of all time. Yeah. Um then in terms of like rap and hip hop is mostly old school stuff like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Tupac, like those type of guys. I also love like Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Um, who else, man? Like it's really quite a mixture of a lot of people, and a lot of artists. But in terms of like heavier metal or like death metal, I do like Amon Amarth. They are like the Viking metal band. Yeah, like
Okay, okay.
yeah, like I don't know. Whenever I listen to this like Amon Amarth band, right? Like it really helps me get into the character. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, nice,
yeah.
nice.
But
And
I'm okay with like listening to anything really. But like as long as it sounds good,
yeah,
it's just that
exactly.
I'm not so I'm not a big a fan of like a lot of the current stuff nowadays. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah.
And where could fans follow you at?
All right. Okay. So you can find me on Facebook. It's just DA then Butcherman. On Instagram, you can find me on @the_Butcherman. And on Twitter, it's the same thing. It's just that there's an extra N because someone took the Butcherman name already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you like there's two versions to you. This version and then when the bell rings, the the horror side.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, like I really need to make sure that like these two entities are like really separate, because if the Butcherman like goes into real life and goes into like a first aid class that I'm teaching, then yeah, I wouldn't have a job anymore.
That's very true. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the show. It was really fun chatting, and like I said, I'm drawn to the dark characters of wrestling, so it was so cool to chat.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Rocco. Like, thank you so much for having me. Really awesome that you are my first overseas interviewer. Guy, I think you mentioned over text that you've had this show for like three
Yeah,
plus years.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
so like
a little over 3 years. Like it started during COVID.
I see, awesome. Yeah, so like hope that your show has like big success, and uh instead of three years, just maybe 10 more years, maybe more and more years of
I
success. Yeah.
hope so. Yes.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
Definitely have a really great weekend, and good luck with wrestling, and thanks again, buddy.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And